What's up everyone? Today we are gonna react to a new video, and this one is why Smash Bros clones always fail. It's been gaining a lot of views, so we're curious to check it out.
Super Smash Bros is a pretty bad game. If it looks like this, it's no surprise that Smash Bros is a leading platform fighter, which makes sense, it was the first of its kind. However, it spawned so many copycats, given how successful the series was. Some of these actually became hits, like Raul's Aether and the one where he plays John Cena. But we don't care about these games. I want to focus more on the ones that are actually based on well-established IPs, because if these massive corporations are able to fund these games, then they should turn out to be good, right?
First of all, I think one of the issues with this whole thing is that as soon as a platform fighter comes out, I mean, we saw it with MultiVersus, with Nickelodeon and so on, people are always like putting up this like perception and idea that it's Smash killers. Like, already that is a bad idea. I don't even think the people behind either of these games are looking at it from that perspective. They are just trying to fill like part of the market, right? I mean, just because Smash is so successful and so big, it doesn't mean that no other platform fighter games can exist, right? Overall, the idea that it's like gonna kill Smash, it's a silly idea from the start.
2012, the rivalry between Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft was really heating up. One day, Sony saw the success of Nintendo Smash Bros. And was like, hey, why don't I try that? So they did, and it became an instant success. Ooh, okay, wait a minute. Although this game pulls some well-known characters, some of them were a little questionable, and some were just flat-out absent that should have been there. Also, the gameplay just wasn't fun. Each player has a special meter, and you fill it out by hitting your opponent and collecting orbs. Sounds fun. Spoilers, it wasn't. The only way to score points was to kill your opponent with a special move. That's it. You couldn't even knock your opponents off the stage. It felt like they were trying to mimic Marvel vs. Capcom's special meter system, but worse. This core gameplay mechanic makes the combat feel very one-note, and doesn't encourage any skillful playstyle. Also,
okay, I've actually never played this game, so I can't really say too much. All I know is that I've heard countless of people meme about it. Over here, like, of course, like you have Smash. It's a very successful formula, and I mean, if you go too similar, then it's like, why this game instead of Smash? And if you go too far away, maybe hard to like attract people that like platform fighters. I don't know. I think like both Nickelodeon and MultiVersus have had some promising stuff and pretty fun gameplay, but I don't know. Honestly, probably wouldn't hurt to like, for these type of games, it probably wouldn't hurt trying to get playtesters that actually knows a lot about Smash as well. I mean, you still don't have to make it like identical by any means, but I don't think it would like hurt.
But what's the purpose of stages in the game in general? It seems so pointless. The reason why Smash is so fun is because you can do stuff like spike your opponents off the stage, or dual go combo off the top.
Kilner? Yep, I think that's death.
Stages should encourage players to think creatively and use them to their advantage. Like in Jungle Japes, you want to find ways to knock your opponents into the water so that they get carried off screen. Or in On It, you may want to hit your opponent into cars so that they get sent flying. In Hades, well, you're kind of just stuck in a box. Personally, this game kind of just felt like an afterthought. It didn't even sell 500,000 copies, and Sony even cancelled some of the game's planned DLC. That's kind of cringe. But with the failure of PlayStation All-Stars, it doesn't look like they'll be exploring this category again anytime soon. We really haven't seen another platform fighter based on mainstream IPs until 2021 with Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. Finally, I can obliterate people with Hugh Neutron.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
At first glance, the game looked very promising. The movement was very tight, fast, and fluid, similar to how Melee felt. As opposed from Sony's game, this game had an all-star lineup to choose from. If you're a fan of Nick anytime from the 90s up until now, I guarantee you'll find a character that you'll recognize and resonate with. Also, unlike PlayStation All-Stars, they kept the mechanics simple. Fight your opponent, deal some damage, knock them off the stage, done. Now for the bad stuff. First off, if you didn't know, Steam Charts is a website that gives you a timeline of the game's concurrent players. For Nick All-Stars, you'll see that, well, I'll let the graph do the talking.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Yeah, that happened. And for good reason. The game was simply an unfinished product. The graphics were a little rough, and the music felt a little generic and uninspiring.
Yeah, I mean, I think as someone that genuinely had fun playing Nickelodeon, they probably made the mistake of releasing the game too early. I know a lot of people, it didn't hurt me as much personally because I don't care about some of those details as much, but like I know voice acting, for example, was a huge one people complained about. Now I'm not gonna say I know how much in terms of budget they had, what opportunities they may or may not have had, but the thing is, like, objectively speaking, a lot of people felt like, which is implied in the video, that it wasn't quite finished. They could have like toned up a lot of things, improved it quite a lot before releasing the game. That honestly probably would have helped it a lot. I know also people talked about the price was too expensive, which, I mean, fair enough. I mean, if you compare it to Smash, you got not anywhere near as much content, but similar-ish price. I think it was like $40, $50. I could be wrong there. I think it was somewhere along those lines. There was some broken characters, like Michelangelo especially. It wouldn't have hurt if the eye was a little bit toned up from the start as well. Also probably could have helped having like some, you know, more, how do you say, person with more Smash knowledge. Again, like, you don't want to have it like too similar, but still, like, I feel like it wouldn't have hurt. It would not have taken long for people with that type of experience to be like, yeah, DI needs to be improved on. Because like, once people have a first impression, it's going to be hard to change that. So again, I feel like it all comes down to like the game getting released a bit too early. They could have like improved a lot of factors before releasing it. But still, I think the game was fun.
Well, one of the biggest complaints was a lack of basic features, like voice acting. It just made the game feel very dry. Nickelodeon characters are always known to be very charming with a lot of personality. If you take that away, then all you get is this. Voice acting did come to the game, but not until 8 months later. Alternate costumes had a similar story. Crossplay was also a planned feature for the game, but spoilers, it's still not in the game. These should have been in the game since day one. I understand a lot of times it's not the developer's fault for the lack of polish, and they are usually at the mercy of the right owners in terms of budget and deadlines, but I would prefer the game getting delayed for a year if that meant it would have been a much better product. Lastly, there was a lack of an update roadmap after the game's launch. Like, yeah, they said there'll be new characters and features along the way, but nothing really of a defined time frame of when it will all happen. What made post-launch Smash Bros. Ultimate engaging was that they actually gave us a timeline of when to expect each new fighter, even for their shitty characters. With Nick All-Star, it kind of felt like we were in the dark for a while and updates would just come out when they were ready. But unfortunately, most of the player base is already long gone and have moved on to other games. This game was a blast to play with friends at launch and had a lot of potential, but the lack of fine-tuning and transparency with updates led to the point where a lot of us just didn't care anymore. It's 2022.
Yeah, I mean, that probably also ties back to like, yeah, not enough people, not enough budget. Again, it's a shame. It was a lot of potential. That sadly wasn't like anywhere near fully reached.
Which is when Warner Bros. MultiVersus comes out. Despite all the failures of the previous games, I think this is where MultiVersus can really shake things up for the platform fighting genre. You can tell this game had a considerable budget, just based on how the presentation looks. Sure, the game may not be perfect and may have its flaws, but there seems to be a lot going for the game that may make it a success. It has a strong and diverse line of characters in its roster, like Batman, Bugs Bunny. LeBron James. The game also sets itself apart from Smash and previous clones by having a large emphasis on 2v2 and adopting a free-to-play model. Now, I know what you're thinking. Free-to-play? Well, quite honestly, I think a free-to-play model is a welcomed and ambitious addition, especially for the fighting game genre. It gets more people playing the game for a genre that's considered very technical and complex. For years, I've been trying to convince my friends to play more fighting games, but they are always turned off by the high prices and the level of commitment involved to get good. Now with the price wall out of the way, suddenly the game becomes a lot more accessible. They're still gonna suck ass at the game, but I mean, come on. Most importantly,
yeah, honestly, this is like by far the #1 advantage for MultiVersus. Like, whether you like the game or dislike the game or anywhere in between, having the game free to play is such a huge advantage. Yeah, like as implied in the video, imagine all these people that maybe you yourself tried to get into fighting games in the past, and it's like, yeah, like $60, $40, whatever it is, quite a lot of money. But if it's free to play, sure, it's gonna take longer to like unlock characters, yada yada. But if you're ever curious to test MultiVersus, you can literally get it for free and then see if you enjoy it. And if you do enjoy it, I mean, then you're gonna keep playing it, right? But for a lot of other games, like that you possibly would have enjoyed a lot, if you're not like literally paying for it, then you will never know, right? So that's a huge advantage. I don't know exactly how successfully this have worked out for them, how much people actually tend to spend in the game so far. I guess time will tell how successful it is, but at the very least, when it comes to like getting a bigger player base, massive advantage, massive advantage.
The game is just fun, and the numbers justify that. The game reached 150,000 concurrent players during the open beta alone, which is an insane amount just for a Smash clone. Before getting my hands on the game, I was afraid history would repeat itself, and this game would have a lot of the same issues as previous Smash clones. But so far, that doesn't seem to be the case. It stays true to platform fighting game mechanics, unlike PlayStation All-Stars, and is not really deprived of any basic necessities, like Nickelodeon All-Stars. There seems to be a stigma associated with the term Smash clone. People usually associate it with cash grab, unpolished, or an obvious downgrade to the original. I'm tired of getting my hopes up for these games, but I think this is where MultiVersus can really shake things up with its unique identity, enjoyable gameplay, and free-to-play model that has not been explored much yet for this genre. Maybe I'll be wrong and this game might just fade away after a few months, but I'm confident that this game will at least set the new standard for platform fighters, and we can finally stop calling future Smash clones as Smash clones. It's funny because MultiVersus is basically a spiritual successor to this game. This game had the Tolinator. Like, come on, man. Tolinator for DLC? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we should just kill the term Smash clones. I agree with most of the points in the video, absolutely. But, I mean, I think with most, you know, newer things that tries to break into a new market, it's always going to be some stuff that, like, falls. And then hopefully down the line, other things succeed, right? So I mean, I'm still hoping we get more projects like this. I hope MultiVersus ends up being successful, not only now, but down the line as well. It will be cool to see a sequel to Nickelodeon one day, where things are more polished, they take the time required, and so on. Honestly, a pretty good video, and mainly pretty funny. I enjoyed it. I laughed a few times. Good stuff. What did you guys think about the video? Please let me know in the comments below, and thank you for watching. Peace.